We're always told that success requires spending most of the time alone, saying no to all of your friends and locking in. If you believe that, let me ask you that. Can you spend the following 10 years the same way? If yes, then good for you and maybe you found your perfect lifestyle. If no, then why do you do it? Do you think it's gonna change when you succeed? It is truly important to find your ideal lifestyle and especially right people to spend time with. And that's what we're gonna talk about in this video, how to meet the greatest people wherever you are. I actually think the reason so many entrepreneurs are big on this grind culture is simply because they haven't found the right people to surround themselves with. I was the same, but I quickly realized this is not my way of living and actually started getting out of there and searching for the most like-minded people that match all of my interests. First, understand yourself. And the issue a lot of people are facing here is they don't know what they are and what they bring to the table. Anyone associates you with something or multiple things, and you should definitely think of what people usually associate you with.
So understand and think of every aspect of yourself which people can identify you with. For me, there probably would be doing e-commerce business or marketing or sports or maybe YouTube as well. And no fucking limiting beliefs like I'm shy or I'm boring or anything around that. When it comes to meeting people, you are 100% of what you believe you are. So set the highest possible energy. The funny thing, you can actually connect with so many people because there are multiple aspects of you, such as the business you do or work you do and the side projects you're working on, maybe other hobbies you have, the sports you enjoy, places you lived before or planning to live in the future, maybe local cafes or restaurants you like, co-working spaces you're working from, and many other aspects of your identity. If there's nothing you're particularly into, then go and try something new and tell people you find it cool, or maybe share that you are thinking of starting something. The second task for your homework is know who you're gonna meet. Don't overthink it, but generally have an image of the person you're looking for. Just like in dating, set a standard because you know you are the average of 5 people around you. So that person would probably have a great influence on you. I wouldn't be too strict with it, but usually I look for people who are into sports, ambitious, work on their own projects. Just think of personality traits you appreciate or you want to have yourself and seek them in others. And that leads us to the third homework task, which is don't be naive. For example, an issue that I had is there are moments that I felt lonely, and during that time when I was going to different networking events or meeting people at the gym, hoping those people might be cool, but in reality I subconsciously knew from the first minute that we have nothing in common. It doesn't mean that you need to be rude to them or tell them to piss off. Just don't settle for people who you don't think will have a positive influence on you. I sound like a 50-year-old mom. Now the juicy part. How and where you actually meet those people that eventually become a significant part of your life. First, and probably the most common way of meeting people is events. In the past 2 years, I think I attended around 100 events. And yes, it does feel a bit awkward in the beginning, but over time you get used to that. You also start meeting more people, similar people at those events, and you get invited to more of them. So it kind of becomes a part of your routine. My advice at the start, just set a goal of talking at least to one person at every event you go to. So if you live in a big city, just look for events, maybe TED Talks or conferences which match your interest. You can also use apps like Luma or Eventbrite or subscribe to a local event newsletter. Or in case you live in a small city, you can also organize something by yourself, like a community of people or another event. Start with your own network of people and then expand. The third way of meeting people is go to run clubs. It's getting warmer now, so probably in your city there might be more run clubs. Find those, connect with people there. I think I go to a couple of run clubs a week. They usually don't go for more than 10-kilometer run, which is super easy. To be honest, I find any sport community full of really open-minded and friendly people, so you're not gonna have an issue of talking to others. Now, point number 4, which is a bit more controversial, but I sort of learned the way to meet people at co-working spaces, cafes, gyms, and even museums. And there are 2 things which I've basically done to completely get rid of social anxiety here. First, and most important, is think of an icebreaker. So the only difference between the cafe or co-working space and the events is that at the events you usually have an icebreaker. At the common places, like I mentioned, like gyms and others, you don't have necessarily an icebreaker, but the best thing, you are already part of the same place. That probably means you have the same interest. Personally, my approach to meeting people in those places is be vulnerable. You can actually talk to strangers, try to not overthink it and just position yourself as someone vulnerable. You can actually tell those people that you're looking for someone, the same interests or in the same place, or maybe you're new there, and that can be your icebreaker. Or same way, position yourself vulnerable and ask them for something. Ask them where's the place, or where is if it's the gym, where are the weights or the whatever you're looking for there. Even a simple icebreaker like, hey, do you go here often? Sounds very dumb and simple, but if the person wants to network, which to be honest 90% of people do, they would be super happy to talk to you and answer any of the questions. So to conclude this point, think of the places you often go to and be curious and ask people questions, and therefore you can expand those questions into the more meaningful conversations. Point number 5 is social media, which is very simple, but I think still underestimated. I think 2 main platforms where you can find people in your city are LinkedIn and Instagram. LinkedIn is pretty simple and straightforward. Literally just look for people with the same job title or the same interest as you have in your city. And for Instagram, it might be a bit more tricky. I found people on Instagram that posted content a lot in my city, or I found people that I had a lot of mutuals with and literally just reached out to them, being extremely straightforward, saying, hey, I was looking for some people in, I don't know, this type of business in my city, or doing this kind of sport, or maybe content creation. I found you, so do you want to meet up for coffee and talk about that? Super simple. If the person is actually interested in that, they would love to meet you for coffee. Point number 6, and I see this entire industry evolving nowadays, which are apps and platforms specifically for connecting people with the same interest. There are 4 of them which I found in my city, and I'm going to put the link to all of them below.
Sorry guys, my camera just died for a few minutes. But point number 7, which I find the most underestimated, is using your current network to connect with even more people.
I'm sure there are at least a few people that can refer you to someone else. I started doing it recently, and I realized you don't even have to be too close to those people just to ask them, hey, do you know anyone matching my interest? Turns out that might be a really great way of meeting amazing people, especially if your friend refers you to other friends. They usually know a lot about you already, so they know what kind of person from their network can fit you as well. So that's it. Now you know a bit more about meeting people and homework you need to get done before doing that. In the next video, I'm going to talk about your first impression, charisma, different topics you can discuss with them, other communication tips. Feel free to subscribe to my channel if you like videos about interpersonal communication, productivity, and business in general, and I'll give you a kiss. And that's it. Bye-bye.